This is my friend Emilio. A little over a month ago, Emilio was stuck working 12-hour days in a 9 to 5, barely taking home $3,000 a month. Today, Emilio is making that same $3,000 a month, only doing part-time work as an appointment setter. In this video, Emilio is going to share his story about how appointment setting let him quit his 9 to 5 and now pays him the same wage his full-time job did with only a few hours of work per day. Hey, Emilio. So I wanted to bring you on because your story is pretty interesting. I know you're in your mid-20s, living in Miami. You were working a 9 to 5 that you finally left after starting appointment setting and closing. Do you want to start off by kind of just introducing yourself?
Yeah, so my name's Emilio. I just graduated like a year and a half ago from UCF. But I got a 9 to 5 in tech sales, and as me and you discussed, it was kind of like not really meant for me.
Yeah.
I think that 9 to 5 life was kind of just dragging me, and it really wasn't a 9 to 5. It was a 7 to 7. So working 12 hours a day, 5 days a week. It's 60 hours. On a salary of around like 50,000. Take home after that is around 3,000. So it's kind of like there has to be a better way to do this. And that's kind of when I came across, remote royalty, remote closing, and you kind of introduced me to that world that I wasn't aware of before.
Yeah. Uh,
hmm
so what made you, how long were you at that job for? Like the 9 to 5?
So I was at that job since from I think May actually to November, so around 6 months, maybe a
Okay.
little bit more around there.
So what kind of was like the last straw that was like, okay, this is not meant for me. Like, I do not want to live the
hmm
rest of my life like this. Like, I need to find something else to do.
Yeah, it was kind of like that constant, like sales pressure coming, because it's a upcoming tech company. So it was constantly like a lot of pressure on my shoulders. And on top of that, the balance just wasn't there. I know there's going to be unbalanced times in your life, especially when you're grinding, but, to make $3,000, the effort I was putting in was not reflected in a paycheck.
Yeah,
12 hours a day for 5 days, 60 hours a week. We're looking at what, 240 a month for 3 grand,
that's
and all the miles on my car, the gas, the food. I was netting probably after expenses around 500 a week,
yeah,
if that.
yeah,
So it really wasn't worth it.
yeah. Why did you choose remote closing versus like any other online form of making money, like drop shipping or something like that?
Yeah, so there's two reasons. Well, first off, I came across your content and it was really cool. I was kind of like, dude, this girl's making money in her dorm room, and I'm out here driving like almost 3 hours a day to get to work. What am I doing wrong? And she's making like almost three times what I'm making. So, I kind of fell down that rabbit hole of watching your content and stuff like that. But I guess the reason I chose, the remote sales aspect of it too, is you're so much more efficient with your time. I hop out of bed, get to work. You no longer have to spend 3 hours on the road, settling in and all that. You kind of eliminate that and buy back a lot of your time, which is huge. And on top of that, I think another aspect that's overlooked is when you're remote closing, you're working one on one with a business owner. It's like the coolest experience ever because you get to see the back end of their business and actually ask them real life questions. Where when you're in corporate, there's a lot of like smoke in the way. You got to play politics, there's red tape, you can't ask certain questions. Here you're one on one with a business owner that's doing multiple six figures. So it's almost like a mentorship the whole time too. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think that's actually not talked about enough because like the people that I've worked for have always been people that I've looked up to. People that
hmm
are making multiple six figures a year or making like millions of dollars a year that I never would have had access to or like contact to, like, and these
Yeah.
people are all young like us kind of, or I mean like the people that I worked for were all like 20s to 27 probably. So like they were all young and doing exactly what I could even like which what I would dream about doing. So it was like just like you
hmm
said, like a mentorship. I actually never even thought about it that way. Yeah, that's a really good perspective. Hmm.
Yeah. No, it's
Uh,
pretty awesome.
so how many offers are you on currently?
So currently I'm on two offers. So the first offer I ever landed was that Amazon offer we spoke about. Super, super high ticket. I got really lucky there.
Yeah.
Where you're getting 3 to 5% on 30 to $50,000.
Yeah.
So that was a nice paycheck there, and that was kind of an eye opener. I literally made 900 bucks my first sale there, and I was like, okay, I'm literally doing this after I get home from work from like 7 to 9. every
Hmm.
day, I was kind of like, okay, we're getting traction here, you know?
Yeah.
And as time passed, I picked up another offer, a closing offer that I currently work with a guy from Miami. He's super cool. He's taught me so much, and that mentorship aspect really helped out. And I'm doing closing for him, and he's making me better every day.
That's really cool. Yeah.
Hmm.
I think that's crazy that, yeah, you made $900 from one sale when your monthly salary was like $3,000. You made like almost a third of your monthly salary from one sale. Is that
Hmm.
kind of like when you decided to leave your job? Or what was like, I don't know, what was the point where you realized, like, I don't need this 9 to 5? Like, I'm okay. Remote closing's going to work out. I don't need to be working this.
Yeah, so that turning point came, I made that 900 bucks. I started getting traction with my interviews for closing. And it came to a point where, Friday I had an interview, I think it was at 2 o'clock. And I felt bad kind of, leaving the office at 2 to step out for an hour to come back. It would seem weird. I had
Yeah.
been doing it already on the side for setting. Like I would step out of the office, to take a personal call for like an hour and a half. And people were starting to catch on. So I'm like, well, I can't do that again.
Yeah.
Let me just take the day off.
If Emilio's story has you curious and you'd like to get involved with appointment setting, I have something for you. I've been personally mentoring students just like Emilio inside my program, helping them hit their first $3,000 to $5,000 month with appointment setting. If you're interested, just know that I will be hard on you and you will have to put effort into this, because there is no such thing as easy money. But if you're okay with that, I'm going to leave the link in the description for you to check out.
Fast forward, I take that day off and I get a message Sunday morning. When I woke up, it was like around 8 a.m. And the guy I'm closing for hits me up. He's like, dude, I want to get you started Monday. Let's get the ball rolling. So I'm like, okay, there's no more 50-50 here. I can't I can't half-ass this.
Yeah.
So I proceeded to take all my PTOs. Okay. And from there, job starts hitting me up. Hey, Emilio, what's going on? I'm just really sick. Don't really bad. Don't talk to me. Thanksgiving time was around there, so they kind of like, okay, whatever. And I went full at it with the closing offer, and I was I bought into it. I said we're the youngest we're ever going to be right now. We don't have responsibilities. If you're gonna take a risk, take it now, because
Yeah.
if you get burnt, it won't be as bad. We don't have families to support or anything like that. So let's send it. I can always go and find another sales job. That's
Yeah.
not too difficult. This
Yeah.
opportunity, however, it kind of presented itself in a way where, I thought it was the right time.
Yeah. And I feel like between two offers, one where you could make like $900 a sale, give or take. Obviously, it's not always going to be that high.
Yeah.
But there is honestly like almost no chance that you wouldn't make like 3 grand a month from that. And the difference is, even if you're making 3 grand at both jobs, at least with the remote closing one, you're doing it from home. You're not wasting that time commuting, like you said. And I don't know, you're kind of not reporting to a boss, because I feel like, at least with all the closing offers I was on, they're super casual. Like the people that you work for and work with, they're like your friends. Like it's not like you're
Hmm.
reporting to somebody.
Yeah. No, that aspect is huge. Having a boss kind of like, hey, you got to hit quota, you got to do this, you got to do that. It's kind of like it gets to a point where it's a little bit too much to handle sometimes. It depends on what kind of company structure you're at. Some people work 9 to 5s and they're happy and they're chilling with that.
Yeah.
I don't think that was the way I was wired, much less when I'm just kind of being bossed around and I don't understand the purpose of why I'm doing something. I'm just being told to do it so somebody doesn't get angry at me. I just kind of like, okay, like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So you're appointment setting and closing right now. Is there a reason you're on both offers?
Well, to be honest, I'm probably gonna leave the appointment setting one. I'm just doing it out of courtesy. The guy is super nice to me. He doesn't expect any crazy hours either. He's kind of like, dude, do it whenever you have some free time. So normally I don't work Sundays.
Hmm.
That's the only day we're not closing. So I'll pick up the phone here and there, keep myself busy. I don't really like taking breaks. It's kind of like I feel myself like if I'm not pushing myself every day, it's kind of like I'm moving backwards, and it's all about momentum.
Yeah.
So always building that momentum. So since I'm not closing on Sundays, I'll pick up the phone here and there and help him out. He's a
Yeah.
really cool guy, so I don't mind, helping out.
Yeah. No, I feel like
Hmm.
everybody is really, really nice. And another thing is like, with remote closing, with appointment setting, obviously you're not getting paid a salary. So
Hmm.
you really determine your income. I mean, obviously, the person that you work for has to be doing their part, has to be promoting whatever you're selling, but like you determine how much money you make. If you want more
Yeah.
money, you take more closing calls, you pick up the phone, do some more appointment setting. If you don't want more, then I guess you don't do that. But like, you are in charge, like you
Yeah.
don't have to just clock in for a certain amount of time to get that salary income. It's just like how hard are you working?
100%. And it almost kicks you into another gear. When it's eat what you kill, it's kind of like, okay, there's no more slacking about. And that just develops a whole other persona in you. You're really like, pushing yourself every day to learn and acquire new knowledge.
Mhm.
As to like compared to when you have a paycheck, it's kind of like I could learn this, but it's not going to change how much I get paid tomorrow. So why?
Yeah,
This is really, pedal to the metal. You're going 100% the whole
yeah.
time.
But I think that's what also makes it really fun. Wait, I had the question for you. I don't know.
The
But I
pedal to the
guess
metal puts you
battle.
into another gear.
Well, I guess like what? Oh, when you got into appointment
Hmm.
setting, when you got into closing, and you left your 9 to 5 job, like what did the people around you that knew you, like what did they say when you told them?
Holy,
Have you even told them?
yeah. So a couple of my boys, I've known them since middle school. Super supportive. They're family, basically. They're rooting you on. But you try to tell that something like that to a Hispanic parent that came from, Venezuela, they don't understand technology. My dad's looking at me sideways like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
You have a job. What are you doing? And it's kind of like I said earlier, every risk you take comes with adversity. Some people are going to improve, some people aren't. And our parents may not understand that. I feel like our parents' era, what saved them was a 9 to 5. I
Mhm.
think we're moving into a new era now where it's like, the traditional 9 to 5 is cool, it's comfortable, but for high achievers, people that want more out of life than to sit at a desk at a job that's kind of, mundane and just proceed with daily tasks, you have to find something that fuels you.
Yeah.
And I feel like remote sales definitely fuels you in the sense of that one-on-one with a business owner, that mentorship. People would pay thousands of dollars to get mentored. My specific mentor,
Mhm.
or the guy I close for, his one-on-one mentorship is $30,000. And I can see why, because the guy's a beast. So
Yeah.
imagine, I'm getting all the value of getting a job and mentored by a multiple six-figure entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Come on, you know?
How can you say no?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's crazy. But
Hmm.
I know what you meant about like the parents thing because I still remember when I first told my parents. Actually, I didn't even like tell my parents like I'd started. I told them I was thinking about it, and they freaked out. They seriously freaked out. And every single phone call I had with them since then, because like I was in college in my college dorm, like just telling them like, oh, I'm thinking of doing this. Like I thought they were gonna be happy because like I thought they were gonna be like, wow, she's doing school and she's gonna start making money too. Like that is like good for her. But I told them I was like, even thinking about it, and I remember every phone call I had for them after that, they were like, "So you're not starting sales, right? Like you're not going to be a sales girl, right?" And fast forward like now, like a year later, a little bit over a year later, now they're like super super happy, and they I trusted the process. Like if I had let them say no to me and didn't take that leap, I literally do not know where I'd be right now. I'd be applying to jobs and
Hmm.
dreading graduating. But
Yeah,
yeah, sometimes, like, parents don't okay, do they always want what's best for you? Yes, but I think what I've understood now is that they kinda just want what's safe for you. It's not really
exactly.
always the best thing, but it's the safest option.
100%. And I think, a life where you're just, playing bowling with the lanes up, you don't learn much. So
Yeah,
you age, but you don't grow, if that
yeah,
makes sense. You grow through experience. And if you're restricting your experience to what's safe, you'll make it to 45, 50 and be wondering, damn, why didn't I try, remote sales when I was 20? Why didn't I try this when I was 30? I kind of just played it safe. At the
yeah,
end of the day, is a good story ever something that got played safe? That's what I like to ask people. No. If you mess up bad, you messed up bad. Cool. Pick yourself up and keep it pushing. That's it.
yeah,
What's the worst that's gonna happen? You're gonna mess up. You didn't lose money. There's no way you lose money in this.
yeah,
Okay? All you're gonna gain is experience and knowledge. you know? So
Yeah.
that's kind of the way I see it. But yeah, going to the parents thing, parents looked at me sideways, you know. But, you know, as progress and results roll in, they kind of ease up. So I definitely feel you there.
Yeah. I feel like they'll trust you to make, a living for yourself and you know what you're doing.
Hmm.
Like you're not stupid.
Exactly.
Like you know what you're doing. You got to trust the process. You're being mentored by some really great people and you also just started. Like you joined Remote Royalty like 2 months ago or like you've only been appointment setting and closing for like a little bit over a month. Like you have a long way to go. So like I feel
Yeah.
like you're already seeing like progress, you're already seeing a paycheck come in, you're already being mentored by really great people that are genuinely trying to help you be better at your job, then like who's to say what's going to happen by summer? Like, it's going to be crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll be playing a different game by summer. Hopefully, you know, in that $10,000 to $12,000 a month mark or past that, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna keep it pushing.
Yeah. Um Honestly, I think this is a good way to end it. I feel like we said a lot of good stuff.
No, this
Um
was fire. I enjoyed it.
is there anything like you want to add or anything?
Um, no, I honestly think that was it. You know, I think this really helps people gain some insight into like the industry and that leap of faith. You know, I think the best investment you can do is making yourself, you know, knowledge, data. You know, the only thing that separates, you know, me from a CEO is just the knowledge. We're both human beings at the end of the day. So investing into yourself through courses and stuff like that is the best way to, you know, propel yourself forward. Let's just say a course goes south on you. Okay, you lost $2,000. Oh well, money comes and goes. All it is a digital number in your bank. It means nothing.
Yeah.
Okay, so invest in yourself any way possible.
Yeah.
But
Hopefully
yeah.
some people will really take that in because I know that like $2,000 isn't really just nothing to some people, but
Mm-hmm.
if you're young and you have the money, like seriously, just invest in yourself now. Take the risk now because you literally do not want to have regrets when you're in your 30s, 40s, or 50s, and you're like, "Wow, my life possibly could have been different," because that will eat you alive.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, I
A
don't know.
100%. Yeah, and you know, going back to the money thing, because I think it's super important. We chat about it a little bit too. Is yeah, money's important and money's a tool. Keep in mind, it's a tool. It's not everything. It's meant to be used. If you have $2,000 sitting there, it's not making you better. It's just a digital number that you see when you log into Wells Fargo. Use it as a tool, you know? And you know, if you're to your last $2,000 and you spend it, that's great and I commend you. You know why? Because you have skin in the game now. Now you have that little lighter under your ass, and it's kind of like, okay, now we got to get going, and
Yeah.
that's all more motivation, you know. So, you know, to those people that I don't have the cash, I'm kind of strapped, I don't have enough to spend. Good, spend it. Put yourself in an uncomfortable situation. You're gonna yield results. I promise you that.
Oh, you're so right. Because the people that have joined Remote Royalty and like there's people that have literally spent their last dollar joining and like when I say I know it was their last dollar, like I know it was their last dollar. Like credit cards getting declined on like a dollar above, like
Oh
it was
my
their
God.
last dollar. And then I've had like one time like a girl joined. So like I had a call with her in the morning. I was like, this is a price. She was like, I don't have that right now. She Instacarted all day, like working her like Instacart job. And then she called me at night, like I think like 11 p.m. She was like, I made all the money for your program. I was like, and those people are
Mm-hmm.
the ones that have gotten the best results because they really, really try. Like they have no other option. The people that just put down like a minimum deposit or I don't know, just like take it lightly. The people that don't have their backs against the walls, they kind of like buy a program, they forget about it in a month, and they don't really try. They're not going to get the same results. Will they get the same results? Yes, but they're not going to try as hard because they don't have that pressure. They
Yeah,
don't have the drive. But
you need
yeah,
that pressure.
okay. Well, I think this was a
Mm-hmm.
really good, fun interview.
Awesome.
Thank
No,
you.
it was fire.